of fatal road accidents recorded in Africa. The international campaign, which was drawn up earlier this year, is expected to end in 2020. Delegates who come mainly from the sub-region are attending the West African Road Safety Organization's third annual general meeting in the Gambia. Ibrahim Balde picks up the rest of that story.
Traffic police officers are at it again, ensuring that drivers observe the rules and regulations governing the traffic. It's all part of an international campaign to minimize road accidents. At the Caraba Beach Hotel, a high-profile annual general meeting convened by the West African Road Safety Organization, WASO, is predominantly discussing ways and means of minimizing road accidents. With Tobaski beckoning, Police Commissioner Mobile Traffic Unit Fadia Jaju says the situation as regards heavy traffic around the Westfield roundabout is ever challenging. The Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Works, Construction and Infrastructure, Dembaba, disclosed at the Guardian that the Gambia has already launched the chapter for the Decade of Action, an international campaign meant to minimize by 50% the number of road accidents on the continent.
The Gambia will therefore draw its own plan of action as soon as the continent plan of action is drawn in Ethiopia later this month, so that we are in line with the rest of the continent.
The Minister of Interior speech at the occasion highlighted the commitment of the Gambia government in supporting and fulfilling the aims and objectives of the regional organization founded in May 2008. Member countries of WASO are united in their resolve to tackle head-on the 2011-2020 Global Plan of Action.
As the Global Plan of Action for the decade has been drawn in stabilizing and eventually reducing road traffic deaths and injuries, in the next few days, African countries will be gathering in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to draw the continent's plan of action, which will take into consideration African culture. I therefore challenge West Africa Road Safety Organization to continue to encourage its members in drawing their national plan of action for the decades in line with African plan of action. The organization should also continue to help in harmonizing these national plans of action in order to adequately promote road safety in the sub-region.
The Gambia is one of the founding members of WASO. According to the Minister of Interior, the Gambia has never defaulted in paying its membership dues to the organization. Speaking on behalf of the President of WASO, Kenen Ngwabe, called for a multidisciplinary approach to achieve the set targets.
To achieve this goal, we must take advantage of the United Nations Declaration of 2011 to 2020 as the Decade of Action for Road Safety. The declaration, amongst others, calls on all member states to prepare a plan of action aimed at reducing road traffic fatalities by 50% through increasing activities conducted at the national, regional, and global levels.
The annual general meeting of the West African Road Safety Organization, which winds up on Saturday, is expected to drum up more support for the international campaign to drastically reduce the number of fatal accidents on the continent by 50%. Ibrahim Balde, GRTS News.
Well, you can follow that story and other GRTS programs live on www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio live. Time now to take our first break. We'll be right back.
Jigéen sama yow moom gëj naa laa gis yow bii rafet na lii bii kañ la nii rap ak jàmm waay mbaa insure nga ko kay
may ma suma jàmm yow insurance dañuy fay
déedéet Gambia National Insurance Company ca Kere Ba ñu bokkuñ ci ñooñu de
ñooy ñaan
lu weesu fanweeri at ak juróom-ñaar ñu ngi ci biir réew mi di ñu aar suñu wàllu moto yi kër yi yoon yi tukki yi sa xaalis sax dañ koy aar
déedéet xanaa
waaw ñu wóor lañ nag te mun seen liggéey seen teewaay ci biir réew mi yokk na fi kóolute de
loolu de neex naa dégg
gis nga bi ci gën a tee neex nag ñoo gaaw a fay yàqu-yàqu dañuy fay yàqu-yàqu ci ni mu gaawee boo eboo daal dawal dem insure yi
kon xaaral ma dem fagaru
defal gaaw moo gën faju
jërëjëf suma caam
jërëjëf de bii moom da nga ko war a insure waay rap ak jàmm waay
Gambia National Insurance Company seet si leen ñu tey pour seen bépp wàllu insurance
Welcome back. The new CNN project, Freedom Project, looks at the deaths in the desert. Deep in the Sinai Desert are the bodies of refugees who were hoping for a better life only to be found dead, some apparently at the hands of Egyptian border guards. We have details in the CNN report.
Operating as a one-man NGO, Al-Azazi searches the desert plains around El Arish 3 times a week. He says he frequently finds corpses there. He has made it his mission to try and make sure they get a dignified burial. Those that can be identified are buried in a Christian or Muslim cemetery. But the ones who remain nameless end up here, outside the cemetery walls, under heaps of trash.
Outside here, it is named Al-Sadaqa grave. This is Al-Sadaqa graves. It is for unknown people.
So where you don't know the identities?
We don't know their names, nationalities. We have no data about them. So we have 3 lines here, and it is covered around 350, 400 bodies.
400 bodies here.
Yeah.
Al-Azazi tells me a story of the man who occupies this simple grave, a grave marked only with a single stone. This is the resting place for a man he met just before he died, Issam Abdallah Mohammed, a 20-year-old refugee from Darfur in Sudan. He was shot by Egyptian border guards trying to cross over to Israel in June. Al-Azazi recorded a conversation with him just an hour before his death. These were among his final words.
How did you get from Cairo to here in Sinai?
Arab Bedouins brought me here.
Issam stated the Bedouins left him and other refugees at the border, and the Egyptian army fired at them as they attempted to jump the fence. Abdallah Mohammed's death is far from unusual. Egyptian border guards have shot dead many refugees. Egypt has said it's targeting smugglers and criminals, not refugees.
We go a reminder of our headlines. Commonwealth heads of state and government have pledged to enhance sustainable development and gender equality. Delegates attending the West African Road Safety Organization's 3rd annual general meeting are deliberating on strategies geared towards reducing the number of fatal road accidents recorded in Africa. Illegal migrants in search of greener pasture are meeting the end deep in the Sinai Desert. And after a trial that lasted 23 days and evidence giving by 49 witnesses, Michael Jackson's former physician is now waiting to know his fate. You can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio live. That's all in the news. Thank you very much for your time. Have a very happy Tobaski in advance, and may God answer all our prayers.
Want healthy, shiny, beautiful hair? Stop and Freeze Oil Moisturizer with Keravite helps to strengthen and nourish your hair, leaving it silky and conditioned with superior shine. Stop and Free, love your hair, and everyone else will too. Get the most from Stop and Freeze Oil Moisturizer with an extra 100 ml free.
We are coming again, Mr. Busky, live in Brikama Joko. It's gonna be the very first time in Brikama. It's gonna be the biggest night party of Brikama, of the Tobaski weekend. Live and direct champion sound. It's gonna be 12 November 2011. Live and direct in Brikama Joko. Guest artist Oliver from Senegal. Jole Jama Noir, live and direct in Brikama Joko. Tickets are $75 before 12 o'clock. After 12 o'clock, it's gonna be $100 flat. Guest artist in the house, Mighty Joe.